we're going to kick off our first segment with a fantastic guest who is indeed a Renaissance man, author, writer, chef, restaurateur, and attorney, the one and only Super Knicks fan. Did I forget that part? Eddie Huang. Eddie, thanks for joining us tonight.
Of course, of course. Wonderful evening for the Knicks. We 23-22. I'm hyped. I'm excited.
Well, you should be hyped. I don't know if you'd be more hyped about the Knicks playing or your movie in theaters right now. You got plenty of things to be excited about. But Eddie, let's talk about Boogie. You're making your directorial debut. The movie's out in theaters right now. Talk to us about Boogie. It's an incredible story. It takes place right here in New York City, featuring the late, great Pop Smoke. Would love to hear your thoughts on it and how it all came together.
Yeah, you know, this has been a dream of mine since I was 17 to make a film. And of course, it would be basketball. You know, like basketball was my way into America. I grew up in a very traditional Taiwanese Chinese home. We didn't really speak English. But when I went to play ball, I got to interact with the rest of America. I got to see how our cultures collide and ally and support each other. And I just learned so much about myself and American life through basketball that I was like, I'm gonna make a coming of age story, set it in New York, the Mecca, with a kid from Flushing, Queens, trying to make it through basketball.
I love that. And we always talk about the power of sports to unite us on so many different fronts. And clearly that's a very personal story to you. But we actually have a quick clip from the movie, Eddie. I want us to check that out real quick.
I know your parents are putting a lot of pressure on you, but it's generational. Their parents put it on them, their grandparents put it on them, and so on and so forth. You know why we're in this country.
I know, Uncle Jackie, we lost the war.
We lost the war. That's why we're here. That's why we're second-rate citizens in a country that resents us. You know, me and your dad, we never expected to have freedom or independence or equality, or any of these things you ABCs expect to have in this country.
I don't really have it either.
You don't. You don't have it like these Americans. But you got more than we do. That's what we all sacrifice for.
But if I sign that deal, I'd be giving it all back now. Back at zero.
You can still play in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Well, then you're still in the basketball business.
Now, Eddie, can't wait to see that fantastic clip. And, you know, that movie, it touches on so many things, especially, you know, things that you've drawn from your own personal life, especially what a lot of Asian Americans go through today. Would love to know about how you chose to tackle those topics using hip hop and basketball as the instrumental to it.
Well, yeah, because, you know, I just always saw a lot of solidarity with the Black community. When I was growing up, a lot of the things that we did in our traditional Chinese home seemed very odd to people. Everyone at school thought I was an alien. But when I started to work at my dad's restaurant, the head waiter was Jamaican, the chef was Jamaican, the head of the prep shift was Haitian, the lead line cook was Mexican. And I would talk to them and they would say a lot of the same things my parents did because they were immigrants. And they were like, listen to your parents. Your parents are teaching you good things. Like, this is how we survive in this country. We all came for opportunity. And then, you know, I would always listen to hip hop rap music with them. And I soaked up game from them, the OGs in the restaurant. And, you know, from a very young age, my dad just taught me, like, this is why we're here. You know, if I wanted to raise you in kind of a monolithic culture with just one race of people on an island, like, I would have stayed in Taiwan. But I want you to have this experience. I want you to participate in this American experiment. And like I said, hip hop was huge for me, and basketball was always the place where I was like tested, you know?
Man, Eddie, it's such a powerful and beautiful story that we all can relate to through sports. But for you, Kaz mentioned it, directorial debut, and then of course, that was you as Uncle Jackie, but you've also got a ton of other young, talented actors, excuse me. How did you go about casting folks, and what was it like for you to play the wise, sage uncle in this movie?
Well, I mean, I gotta say too, I gotta shout out my fade. That's one of the best fades since Allen Houston's.
It was fresh.
No, man,
it was real
I really
clean.
wanted to cast. I wanted to cast real people that live this life, that live New York, and that's why Pop Smoke, rest in peace, bless his soul. My brother, he really blessed this film. You know, like he brought so much energy to it. In the moment when we were filming it, Pop really had New York on his back. Like everywhere you go, every single car on the street was just banging, "Welcome to the party," Dior. And it was incredible to be able to be around Pop during his rise as he became, in my mind, the king of New York. You know, like it was such a special time to be around him, and he really was the most talented person I've ever met. Like after the first 10 minutes of playing ball and meeting Pop, I just knew he was Monk. And then besides just Pop, you know, we have an amazing cameo from Despot, who is from Queens. He's a Queens legend. He plays the assistant coach to Dom Lombarduzzi, who's the head coach and another New York legend, you know, got his start in A Bronx Tale. I tried to get as many real New Yorkers in the film as possible because those are my favorite New York films where you could feel it, you could smell it, and the New York is just all over it. There's no Fugazi.
Of course, of course. You mentioned the authenticity of Pop Smoke and capturing that era. Let's jump to a clip from Boogie with Pop Smoke playing Monk. Let's check it out.
What's up, little man? I seen you taking notes at the barracks. Now it's time for me to take my notes. You know what I'm saying? Take it easy, man. Nice little haircut. Scouting report did say you was an angry little dude.
Come on, guys.
Shut up.
Guys, it's not necessary.
Be good. I ain't worried about this little kid. Yeah, grab your backpack.
Wow, I mean, he had a bright future. He convinced me. He convinced me he was about to turn up on him on the bus. But let's talk about your movie star Taylor Takahashi. I saw you on Stephen A. show a couple days ago, and you found him in an open run, and like he's a real hooper. He's not just acting, right? Tell me about finding him, because I know it. Go ahead, my fault, Eddie.
No, yeah, Taylor is the all-time leading scorer at Alameda High School. And one day, I'm 39, and this happened when I was about 36, 37. I'm warming up in our rec league, and this kid walks in and just starts icing every shot he takes in warm-ups. And I'm like, yo, you want to take my spot in the starting lineup? I'm 36. I'm the oldest dude on this team. He's like, no. I respect my elders. You keep your spot. I was like, wow, this kid can ball. He got good manners. He got the Asian discipline. And I was like, what do you do? And he was like, I'm a yakitori cook. And so I invited him to start cooking with me. And then eventually he was such a good cook, I offered him a job as my assistant. I said, would you like to be in the entertainment business? And he's like, I don't know what that means, but like, I would love to make more money. So he took on the job as my assistant. But in the back of my mind, yeah, I just knew, I was like, there is something special about this kid, and it is going to be hard to find another Asian basketball player this good, that's age appropriate, that also has spent a lot of his time intersecting with Black and Latino culture and understands how to move through these worlds, and in a way has that New York sensibility about him, because New York is, in my mind, the most advanced when it comes to diversity and inclusivity and all of those things. And Taylor, coming from the Bay, you know, they're very futuristic as well. So it was very natural a transition. And I just had a feeling from the day I met him that he was Boogie.
Well, we are glad that you leaned in on that feeling. The entire project, Boogie, go check it out. It's in theaters now. Eddie, I know we're focused on Boogie, but while we got you here, I need you to know that Fresh Off the Boat is like top 10 on my favorite sitcoms. So I loved your contributions there. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go Knicks. I mean, we love the gear.
Yes,
what a
sir.
great night
Yes,
to have
sir.
you on after a super
Knicks.
dope comeback win.
Go Knicks. Yup. Shouts to the Knicks. 23 and 22. Thank you, guys.